criminal organizations ever, how illegal empires moved money. Note: figures below are journalistic estimates. Fortune's 2014 Fortune 5 Organized Crime Revenue Rankings, Guinness World Records, and other public reporting. Organized crime groups don't publish financials, so every number is a law enforcement or analyst estimate, not an audited figure. Script covers documented history only. No operational detail on how laundering techniques work. One criminal organization on this list has been estimated to generate more annual revenue than Netflix, McDonald's, and Nike combined. Not from one lucky year, for decades. These aren't street gangs. They're multi-billion-dollar illegal economies with accountants, shell companies, and diversified portfolios. Today we're ranking the 10 richest criminal organizations in history and breaking down, in plain financial terms, how each one actually moved and hid its money. Number 10. The Sicilian Mafia, Cosa Nostra. Founded in 19th century Sicily, Cosa Nostra built its early fortune on protection rackets, essentially a mandatory insurance fee extracted from local businesses. The financial genius wasn't the extortion itself, it was reinvestment. Protection money got funneled into construction and public contracts, turning a cash shakedown into legitimate-looking real estate holdings. By laundering illicit cash through property development, a criminal enterprise generating an estimated hundreds of millions annually at its peak created an entire visible economy that looked, on paper, like ordinary business. Number 9. The American Mafia, New York's 5 families. During Prohibition in the 1920s, banning alcohol didn't eliminate demand. It just removed legal supply, and organized crime stepped into a market worth billions in today's dollars. This is a textbook economics lesson. When governments restrict a product people still want, they don't eliminate the market. They hand a monopoly to whoever's willing to break the law. The 5 families later diversified into gambling, labor unions, and construction, spreading risk across legal-adjacent industries so no single crackdown could collapse the whole operation. Number 8. D Company, led by Dawood Ibrahim, with an estimated net worth around $6.7 billion operating across South Asia and the Middle East. D Company's model blended narcotics trafficking with real estate and Bollywood film financing, industries where large cash movements don't automatically raise suspicion. Investing illicit profits into visibly legitimate sectors like entertainment and property development is a recurring pattern across nearly every group on this list. Dirty money doesn't stay useful sitting as cash. It has to enter the legal economy to actually be spent, which is the whole reason money laundering exists as a concept. Number 7. The Ndrangheta, based in Calabria, Italy, estimated at $4.5 billion in annual revenue by Fortune's organized crime rankings, though some more recent analyst estimates run considerably higher. The Ndrangheta's financial edge was structural. Unlike more centralized mafias, it organized around blood-related family cells, making it exceptionally hard for law enforcement to infiltrate or flip informants. It became Europe's dominant cocaine importer by building direct supply relationships with South American producers, cutting out costly middlemen, the same vertical integration strategy that legitimate corporations use to protect margins. Number 6. The Camorra, based in Naples, estimated at $4.9 billion in annual revenue. The Camorra's specialty was counterfeiting and waste management contracts, 2 industries where fake paperwork is disturbingly easy to produce. Italian investigators have estimated that organized crime's grip on parts of southern Italy's economy displaced enough legitimate business activity that entire regional industries operated under criminal-linked pricing. illustrating a core truth about organized crime. Its cost isn't just the illegal profit, it's the legitimate economic activity it crowds out. Number 5. The Chinese Triads, operating globally since the 18th century. Exact revenue is unknown, but scale shows in isolated cases. In 2018 alone, Triad-linked networks were estimated to have laundered $5.4 billion through the Vancouver real estate market in a single city. That single data point, one city, 1 year, hints at global totals running into tens of billions. Triads have increasingly shifted from street-level extortion toward white-collar crime, counterfeiting, healthcare fraud, and financial fraud, sectors with lower violence risk and comparable, sometimes higher, returns. Number 4, the Sinaloa Cartel, Mexico's dominant drug trafficking organization. Sinaloa's money-moving problem was pure logistics, physically transporting and hiding billions in drug trade cash. The scale of that challenge became public in 2012, when global bank HSBC was fined $1.9 billion after admitting its systems allowed Sinaloa linked cash to move through the legitimate banking system undetected for years, one of the largest bank settlements in history at the time, and a rare public look at how even regulated institutions can become unwitting conduits for illicit cash when compliance controls fail. Number 3. The Medellín Cartel, led by Pablo Escobar. At its 1980s peak, the cartel was generating an estimated $60 million a day in cocaine profits, pushing Escobar's personal peak net worth to a widely cited $30 billion, or roughly $60 billion adjusted for today's inflation. The financial challenge at that scale stopped being how to make money and became where do you physically put it. Reports from the era described the cartel writing off millions of dollars a year simply because rats destroyed cash stored in warehouses and fields faster than it could be laundered. Arguably, the most extreme case in history of an organization generating more illegal cash than the financial system around it could realistically absorb. Number 2. Solntsevskaya Bratva, the Russian Mafia, estimated at $8.5 billion in annual revenue. Its financial structure looked less like a street gang and more like a holding company. 10 semi-autonomous brigades operating independently but pooling resources under a 12-person governing council. That decentralized model insulated the whole organization. Taking down one brigade barely dented total revenue because the financial infrastructure was never concentrated in one place to begin with. It's the same risk distribution logic used by multinational corporations running independent regional divisions. Number 1. Yamaguchi-gumi, Japan's largest yakuza organization, estimated by Fortune at approximately $80 billion in annual revenue, dwarfing every other group on this list combined. What makes this figure remarkable is the diversification. Unlike drug trafficking first cartels, Yamaguchi-gumi's income streams span real estate, construction kickbacks, stock market manipulation, and even reported involvement in the internet pornography industry, a portfolio structured almost exactly like a legitimate diversified holding conglomerate, just without the disclosure requirements. That diversification is precisely why it topped $80 billion while narcotics-dependent organizations stayed a fraction of that size. One crackdown on one revenue stream barely moves the total. 10 organizations, uncommon thread. Every single one of them eventually had to solve the same problem legitimate businesses solve: how to move, store, and grow money without losing it to theft, seizure, or their own inefficiency. The difference is they solved it outside the law, and it still cost most of them everything in the end. If this kind of financial history is your thing, subscribe. Power Chronicles breaks down the real numbers behind power and wealth every week. Comment below, which one of these 10 surprised you the most?